They don't believe it when we say that we are God's chosen. They look down on the righteous, but we know that God noticed. The light of the world when everything is in darkness, but we can see the way. They all gonna restore the kingdom back to Israel at any day. Just wait and see, you watch and pray. The Lord is coming back with angels, make a way. Fear in the hearts of the nations, they can't escape it. You were free for a while, but it come changes. 1 hour, that's all it's gonna take, that's all it's gonna take. It's 1 hour. 1 hour, 1 hour, 1 hour, 1 hour. These gonna be devoured all in 1 hour. Judgment day is on the way, I hope you're ready. 1 hour, 1 hour. Redemption is coming, the water flooding the earth. Just take a look in the mirror, how you can see that we curse. They keep us down at the bottom, and as a people we hurting. Just come back to the Lord, watch how we pull back the curtains. Yeah, we got power with God, yeah, we the greatest thing. Caught up in these lies, that's why our heritage was taken. Vengeance of the Lord, if you believe, that's where your faith is. In the end, I know all we can say is 1 hour. That's all it's gonna take, that's all it's gonna take. It's 1 hour. 1 hour, 1 hour, 1 hour, 1 hour. These gonna be devoured all in 1 hour. Judgment day is on the way, I hope you're ready. 1 hour. 1 hour. 1 hour. All praise to the Most High. Hey, it's the last one before I take my free bro. That's my holy, holy, oh, holy, holy, holy. Holy, you are my King. You gave me life, wanna thank you for this. You the creator of everything. Your everlasting mercy. Unto you do I sing. Your laws and your commandments, I keep them close to me. Whoa, you divided the waters for your people. We the best at everything, but we still need you. You the one who punish us when we do evil. Through the hell and tribulation, he won't leave you. Glory, glory, we give you glory, glory, glory. We give you glory, glory, glory. We give you glory, glory, glory. We give you glory. You are my rock, my shield, my fortress, my everlasting King. You gave me life, wanna thank you for this. You the creator of everything. Your everlasting mercy. Unto you do I sing. Your laws and your commandments, I keep them close to me. Whoa, you the one who sent that bread down from heaven. You went to war with many nations, you protect us. You came down as a fire on Mount Sinai, and it's still here to this day. Why should I lie? For a brief moment I abandoned you, but to bring you back with a deep compassion, what I plan to do. You disobeyed, I made you slaves, I was mad at you. And to send my son to die for y'all, somebody had to. Glory, glory, we give you glory, glory, glory. We give you glory, glory, glory. We give you glory, glory, glory. We give you glory. You are my rock, my shield, my fortress, my everlasting King. You gave me life, wanna thank you for this. You the creator of everything. Your everlasting mercy. Unto you do I sing. Your laws and your commandments, I keep them close to me. Whoa.
All praises to the Most High. All praises to our Elohim, the highest, the Ruach HaKodesh, and Yahweh Shah, the Elohim of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Just so we're clear that there's no idolaters over here. Why do the heathen rage as we of Yashar'EL rejoice at our salvation and their fall? Why? Because of the signs. We see these things that come all around us. Blood red skies, um, famine in the land, not of food and drink, the madness of the heathens, the fallen, they speak to these heathens of the Shadim possessed, all in their weaknesses, trying to tell us that we need to be nice, trying to make us feel that vice of their life is right. None of that matters at this point in time, because as we look up, we see our redemption near, nigh, here. And that's the beauty of this day. We get to now focus on us, and we can no longer look at the heathen's dismay and really not care anymore. Many of them try to create commotion, disruption, distortion, and deception. But we take heed that no man or woman deceive us. We take heed and have a keen ear with a keen eye of understanding who it is that is alive and who shall die. And that is for the heathen to contend with at this point, because their rage is their own. We have not done anything but left them alone. Their minds have gone weak. Their minds have gone left. They don't know where they are. They're still trying to create theft, stealing, killing, warring, yet they want us to feel, something for them. And at this stage in the game, if you can't get this, if you don't understand this, if you don't see the story of our redemption and salvation, then you are not with us. You are not for our turn. This, just so it's clear, there is a remnant, and then there's a remnant within the remnant. And that remnant within the remnant makes the thing go, makes the whole world go round. It moves, it shakes the ground. And everybody out here is trying to slow that process down. And that process cannot be slowed down or found by any of these heathens, these blassels or vassals. None of them study, none of them seek the matter out. They all in their vain imagination, screaming and shouting. And this is their problem, not ours. That's why we have to take heed that we are not deceived. For the elect's sake, he has shortened the time. So there's nobody that's going to go out here and blow up the first creation. The Iranians and the Ishlanders are not going to create commotion enough to destroy the entire earth. And that's their fear, that they keep coming out of here trying to make us see when it is clearly not clear. And that's their problem, because the signs are here. Who are the signs for? Yashar'EL. It always has been. And when they start to come and come and come and come again, you already know what time it is. And that's the that's the fundamental joy of Yashar'EL. That's what we're here for. This is the spell is gone, the vexation is gone, the hexes are gone. Nobody can change the time. Nobody can revert back the way they wanted it to be. You see, this is our turn. This is the turn for Yashar'EL. This is the exchange of situation. And we all know this well. Because in our own individual lives, we're moving fast and things are looking up. As a collective, we can't be touched. That's why T-Rump, he's doing everything he can to bring this whole fiasco of a world of Western civilization of the heathens down. And they're worried, they're perplexed. They're like, oh, I can't get no gas, I can't get next, I can't do this, I can't do that. Oh, am I vexed? Screaming on, yelling on the Jeebus of the whites to come and help them out, to help them fight. Fight who? Themselves? Yes. Because this is what was told of old that would happen here at the end. Australia, red skies. Oh, well, the experts came out and said, this is just from the iron in the sand that gets pushed up by the wind, and it shows and it blows and it creates a reddish glow. What? That's a sign, fools. Now they want to go around the moon. They want to act like they can do these things when they can't even get out their room. They're keyboard warriors. They don't want to go to war. They want a war. They don't want to go to war. But I thought this was their holy war. I thought this is what they wanted. I thought that they were big, strong. I thought these were the mighty men of Teman. But somehow all that gets, thrown out the door when war comes for them. But here we are, tried and true, knowing exactly what to do, and that's worship our Elohim. And that's, again, the beauty. That's why we rejoice, because our salvation is here. Our restitution is here. Our restoration is here. And the world is like, I don't want y'all to be restored. I don't want y'all to be have restitution. I don't want you all just to have salvation. But is that for them to engage in? No. They can't stop what's coming. And that's their fear. And tonight, when we speak on the signs of the times and how it affects us in a rejoicing way, we're not here to listen to anybody come in the comment section or anybody, troll or not, talk about we can all do this and do that. Because Paul ain't here. Paul and the Jebuses of the whites is not here. The blacks too. Because our Elohim does what they gonna do. And that is they going to take down the heathen, take the crown off their head. They're gonna make they come in was the fact that we win. And yes, it's a game. Yes, it's a competition. Always has been. This is what they set up. They set this game afoot. And now we deduce all the things that they thought that they could hide from us. And now that we cite and seek justice for just us, now the whole world is crying the blues. And hey, who do that voodoo? Not us, not me and you, because this is the signs of the times that we're in for me and you. All praises to the Most High, our Elohim, our earthly mother, our celestial wisdom, our brother. All praises to them for bringing us close together so that here at the end of the heathen's rule, we can rise. All praises to the Most High. Sister Romy, Brother Sly, Shalom to you both.
Shalom, shalom to the nation, Baruch Hashem to the Most High. All praise, Ahaya, Ashar, Ahaya.
All praises.
So,
Shalom.
What'd you say, Brother Sly?
I just want to get my shalom in before I go mute.
Shalom, Brother Sly. All right, sis.
yes.
What you do for us?
So if you can just pull up that picture.
Yes, yes.
He's going to pull up the March 3rd full moon that as it appeared over Japan with the rainbow. And I got wind of that picture on March 28th. Now, March 3rd, like the next day after the full moon, we were in a double curse gate. Mm-hmm. And the spirit just kept saying, stay the course, stay the course. And then March 27th, that picture came out. March 28th, I got wind of it. And everybody's familiar with the covenant that was given to Noah, but it was only one part that they really emphasized, which is that the earth would not be destroyed totally by water, but that it would also be destroyed by fire and brimstone, because we see the earth being destroyed by water, fire, and so forth. Mm-hmm. But as I started to do a deep dive in the other books, Baruch, Enoch, and Yasher, there were other things given under that covenant with Noah. One is that we're never to eat the blood of animals. And so we don't eat rare steak or medium rare.
Nor do we drink blood.
Right. Another part of the covenant was the land that was divided between Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Mm-hmm. And then another part of the covenant dealt with when Noah was given before the flood, Noah was told to build the ark, and the world ridiculed him and said, you're crazy. Mm-hmm. And then the flood came, and we know what happened. The other scriptures that came up dealing with the rainbow has to deal with the throne of the Most High. So those are the scriptures that I'm going to highlight, because between March 28th and April 5th, there is another portal that's opened in the celestial realm. It has to deal with Saturn. So today is the 1st. Tonight is the full moon. And again, Artemis 2 is going to slingshot around the moon, which makes no sense because we landed men on the moon in the 60s with less technology. Right. Right. But today, all we can do with all these advanced technology is slingshot around it. So tonight being the full moon, I looked at this moon on March 3rd, and the scripture that came up that really got me was Revelation chapter 4. And it says, after this, I looked, and behold, a door was opened in the heavens. Now, and the first voice which I heard was as it were of a trumpet, talking with me, which said, come hither, and I will show you things. And then when you go to verse 3, it says, and he that sat was to look upon like jasper and sardinian stone. And there was a rainbow round about the throne, in sight like unto emerald. So when I got that chapter in my spirit, I realized that on March 3rd, when that rainbow was so it appears that the moon is under the rainbow. Right now, they can't tell if it's just the way the picture was taken, but that was over Japan. And I realized that it confirmed that portals are open, because Revelation chapter 4 says that he saw a door open.
Mm-hmm.
And so even tonight, tomorrow, the sun is going to be rising in a Braca gate for the next 30 days. And so when Saturn sextile Pluto on March 28th, and it's going to stay that way until April 5th. So there is a portal being opened.
Mm-hmm.
And it's being opened to the throne of the Most High.
And that's with the rainbow, right? That's what the rainbow's representing with the moon.
The rainbow also represents the throne. But, these are not things that they're going to tell you, because they don't want, see, the higher we reach for the throne, the quicker they're going to fall.
Yep.
And so our goal is to sit at the foot of the throne of the Most High. And when I looked that up, that said to be under the authority and to have the authority of the Most High.
Mm-hmm.
So under the authority is the protection. Mm-hmm. Having the authority is the Braca.
That's right. That's right. Now hold that thought, because the authority was taken from the heathen. Why? Because they lost the morality, or they really never had the morality, but they lost the authority, the morality, and the sovereignty. And when they lose it, which all three of those, that triune is the scepter. So when they lost, or their scepter was broken or lost, he gave us our scepter back. Remember the scepter of Judah? He gave it back to Judah, a new one, a renewed one. And now the world is upset because we're holding the scepter. And you got all these other people out here who liken to be us, the remnant within the remnant, and they want the scepter. They think they hold the scepter. Yet they don't even understand the esoteric of the scepter. They don't understand the esoteric of the signs. So go ahead, sis.
So for the nation between now and, so we know Pluto, when Saturn is the judge, and we know Pluto is karma. So between now and the 5th, what I'm going to do three things. I'm going to get rid of something old that represents the old me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to throw it away, remove it, literally take it to the dump. And that's the first thing that you can do, is go through your home and take away the things that no longer represent you, because you're a new person in the Most High. Okay. Yeah. The other thing is, you need to also figure out what your next goal is for your purpose in the kingdom.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
And the last thing is, you need to be rejoicing over not the hurt that people are feeling, but you've got to be rejoicing. You got to be the Most High's cheerleader when he brings the curses to the wicked.
That's right.
You have to be his cheerleader. You can't do that. Okay. So when you try to get clarity on something, all right, this is a Braca gate portal. So technically, when you're in the double curse gate, that's when you should be doing the protection feast. You shouldn't be doing a protection feast in a Braca gate, because it's a blessing gate. You should be doing it in the double curse gate. There's two protection feasts. There's the Passover and there's Feast of Trumpets. Those two give you a 6-month protection. And now that we're going, so once you do first fruits, it's going to be linked to Feast of Weeks, and that's going to be, first fruits is a blessing feast.
Right.
So you should be seeing the blessings in the Braca gate, which is going to begin tomorrow when the sun rises after this full moon that they call the pink moon. Now, there's a short window of alignment. That short window, again, is March 28th to April 5th. So 4 more days. This is where you can use action to create a long-term shift. Now, when they talk about timeline shift, I want to clarify this because the Spirit brought this to me. It's not a physical shift where you wake up and you're 3 days ahead. Timeline shifts or any type of shift is a cognitive shift. It's mental. I got several examples. The first one is when you first woke up out of the valley of dry bones, whenever that was, and you said, hey, I'm not a Christian, that's satanic, I'm not doing this, I'm not keeping Christmas, I'm throwing away all the idols, whatever, cleaning up my act, I'm not eating pork. That was a shift. People either came at you one way or another, you had to deal with whatever. Those are timeline shift. Another one is when you first started noticing repeating numbers. Whenever you first started noticing, like Brother Moriel, I sent you a text the other day. And what was the number? What was the time? 4:44.
Yep.
So when you started noticing repeating numbers, angel numbers, that's a timeline shift. It's a mental thing. It's a mental phenomenon. And the reason it's mental and we call it timeline shift is because when you get into the new kingdom, it's going to be an eternal. So there won't be any more clocks or calendars.
Won't be time as we know it. That's right.
There won't be time. And that's why where we are now is to shift from the physical to the spiritual. We have to stop counting time. David got cursed for taking account of the nation of Yashar'EL. The Most High don't want us counting. He numbered us like the sands of time. You can't count the number of sands. You can't count the number of hair on your head. I mean, you can, but by the time you get to 100, you forgot where you were.
Yep.
You got to start all over, especially our hair. Okay? So time, for you to do a timeline shift, you have to start coming out of the Gregorian calendar. You have to come out of the Gregorian count because that keeps their system going as well. They're probably going to somehow interfere with this broadcast if I keep going the way I'm going.
Keep going.
But when you get clarity on things, those are timeline shifts. Like we know things, but then we get clarity. Some people would call that understanding or wisdom.
Right.
Okay. So there's a short window of alignment, and you can use action to create a long-term shift. If we look at Revelation chapter 10, verse 1, and I saw another mighty angel come down from heaven, clothed with a cloud, a bariel, and a rainbow was upon his head, and his face was as it were the sun, and his feet as pillars of fire. And he had in his hand a little book open. He set his right foot upon the sea and his left foot upon the earth. He cried with a loud voice as when a lion roareth. So we know that's the tribe of Judah.
That's right.
And when he cried, 7 thunders uttered. And when the 7 thunders had uttered their voice, I was about to write. And I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, seal up those things which the 7 thunders utter, and write them not. And the angel which I saw stand upon the sea and upon the earth lifted up his hand to heaven. That tells me that a portal is open. So it doesn't just have to do with the full moon, because when you see a rainbow, you're supposed to be reminded of the covenant with Noah. But the covenant with Noah is much more extensive than just the water thing. And again, they didn't tell us that. So part of that covenant is the land. And the land is important to the Most High because the new kingdom is going to inhabit this land. That's why people need to stop with the, nuclear,
Right.
I saw this Blassel on TikTok talking about nuclear capability. And I just typed in the chat, if they had nuclear capability, black people would have been destroyed already.
Long time ago, they'd have destroyed
They
a
don't
lot.
have that. They don't have the ICBMs either. I figured that out because they kept talking about, ICBM, intercontinental ballistic missiles, missiles that can go from one continent to another. They don't have that. You know why they don't? Because they got to take the U.S. Bush all the way over to the Yemen Sea to let a missile go. If they had intercontinental, they'd be releasing it from the so-called silos in Colorado, and it would go straight to another continent. They don't have that capability. That's why Iran can only bomb Israel and the bases over there, because their missile, trust me, if their missile could come here, everybody would go bomb the White House. DC would be cleared of regular people. Okay.
Yep, that's
But
right.
they don't have that. So we don't have to sit here in fear, oh, they're going to bomb us. No, the Most High will not allow us to be destroyed under the covenant, because then he can't prove himself.
Exactly. And just to piggyback on that, and why would he allow, and I say this a lot, but why would he allow the heathen, a genetically mutated, why would he allow mankind to destroy his first creation? The land hasn't done anything to these people. They've parted the land. He doesn't say, I'm going to bring you down to the Valley of Jehoshaphat and there I'm going to judge you for blowing up my land. No, he said parting my land. So the only capability that they've had, the only opportunities that they've had is to part the land, change the boundaries, change the names, and then put the whole world in fear that they can do things again and again and again. And now Iran done called the bluff. And that's why T Rump's up there talking madness about, oh, well, we winning. Oh, we obliterated them. No, see, these words that he uses is something that is going to come back on him and his people. I mean, if you look at all these crazies out here who voted for him, Kamala too, if you just look at the people that vote, that really put their faith and hope in the dope of Western civilization, their faces, their countenance has changed. They're realizing that the game is up. Yet it's afoot for us. It's just beginning for us, because now we're wiser, we're smarter. We've always been stronger. We've always been faster, and we've always been more intelligent. We just been, suppressed. And now that we are no longer suppressed and oppressed, now the realities of the day comes out, and nobody can stand the mighty men of the Most High and women. But go ahead, sis. I just had to get that in.
No, I mean, that's true. They don't like us because we're not walking with them.
Mm-hmm.
And just our attitude alone, they feel a sense of they're praying against us. We're not praying against you. We're praying against the wicked.
Mm-hmm.
And so you see some of the young people, they're waking up. I'm talking 83. They're saying things like, okay, so we can go right into this vote that they did for the crimes against humanity at the United Nations, right? And Ghana, which is the one that pushed for this, turns out that they had nefarious motives. They want the money to go to Ghana. And now Ghana is underwater.
Isn't that a trip?
Right. Because Ghana came underwater like practically like 2 days after their motive was found out. So even though they voted for it, they want the funds to go to Ghana. Now, Africa need to go to Europe for their reparations if they
Right.
want anything.
Right.
Europe is the one that pilfered them. Okay.
Well, wait, time out, time out. Africa need only deal with
True.
Africans because they have the resources. What in the hell are people
True.
talking about from Africa having asking for anything when their land holds the resources? That's why they can kick rocks because anybody that's over here trying to tell us that we got to give them, we need to pay them when their whole continent supposedly has all the resources, the motherland, this, that, and the third, it tells me that everybody out here is looking for us, is trying to get close proximity to us so that they can be, because remember, the Most High said, I know the blasphemy of those who say they are but are not,
Right.
but thou art rich. So the richness now has changed from the material to the spiritual. So the
Right.
richness, everybody knows this. So if you're around someone with a righteous, strong, vibrant spirit, shoot, you're going to try to connect to them. Now, back in the day, that spirit has always been with us. But back in the day, we were willing to connect with them. We were willing to have allied to align with them. Now that we are being sanctified and some delineating and some separating, now they don't have that direct connect anymore. So they're trying to figure out how they can circumvent, get what we have, and they don't understand that this is all part of our prophecy. Because what we're dealing with right now, what you're speaking of right now, is prophecy. We're not dealing with Paul, what Paul said, what Jebus said, what the New Testament said, what the church said. We're talking about the prophecy stated of old via the Most High to his people, because we were the that needed a sign. We're the ones that ran around looking for signs, and the Father was like, a lot of these people out here talking madness, kill Yahweh. Matter of fact, Judah was there. It wasn't the whole house of Yashar'EL that was even there when Yahweh was over there. So the madness that they're speaking is a blame, a projection, a deflection, and an accusation, so that they can continue to try to get us to curse ourselves in our elation of seeing the joy in our faces and our father's face, our mother's face, our brother's face of our salvation, which, mind you, is the fall of our enemies. Because what else? I don't even understand the logic. And I'm gonna get back to you real fast, but I just gotta say this. I don't understand the logic. The logic that they're trying to say, these people out here today talking about, oh, well, you guys are rough, you guys are hateful, you guys are this and that, you guys are talking about the fall of enemies, you shouldn't rejoice at that. Well, wait a minute. Every Thanksgiving and every July 4th, this world, relishes and rejoices at the fall of their enemies, the theft and the fall of the enemies on our land. Every war that they've had in 9/11, they rejoiced at the fall of their enemies. At World War II, rejoiced. World War One, the Spanish Indian War, they rejoiced. The Civil War, they rejoiced at the fall of their enemies. Now, all of a sudden, because we have taken a step back to watch them fall, no longer for them to hold up, to hold on to us and bring us down with them. No. Now the fall of our enemies is something to rejoice at. Why? Because we're not doing it.
That's
We
right.
are not doing it. We're not going out here forcing them to fall. We're not going out here doing anything to them at all. It is our Elohim. It is our father, our mother, our brother that is got them vexed, mentally ill, and hexed. And they want us to be upset and get in the way of that? No, 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 no. I'm not getting in the way of the fall of my enemies. I'm not getting in the way of the Father's will be done. I'm watching as a watchman on the wall, and I'm going to get to the kingdom without any reservation at all. This dude came on the comment section talking about, I hope that you're right. No, ain't no hope. This is faith. This is what we're talking about over here is faith of prophecy, being able to bring forth our kingdom. We're not looking for anybody to say, well, you know what, Sly and Romy, I hope that we can disaward. No, we over here convicted in our stance. That's why everybody's upset, because of the conviction, the zeal that we have. This is what Yashar'EL, this is what the obedient, masculine, feminine Yashar'EL looks like. Where everyone, Sister Romy's talking, I'm talking, Brother Sly's talking, the chat's talking. Everyone is in order. They've never seen this out of us before. They've seen us disorderly. Now we're in order to our Elohim. And everybody, yes, there's creators, yes, all these, there's multiple Elohims, but those other Elohims have been set up over other nations to do what? Lead them astray. Ours is the only one that's bringing us to him. That's the signs of the times, the regathering. Go ahead, sis. Go ahead, sis.
I mean, and speaking of the signs of the times, I got understanding on the scripture where Messiah says it's a wicked and perverse generation that asks for a sign when the sign is being given right there.
That's right.
The reason they want signs is because they want it to line up with their narrative that everything, that they're going to get a hero and everything's going to be okay again. That's why they got the hero complex out there. Everybody's a hero today. But we're given these signs that you see. And when you see, again, the rainbow, it's more than just the Noah covenant.
Mm-hmm.
It has to do with the throne of the Most High. Now, I will have to do a deep dive on throne, because when I started, it's way too much. Like I was like, okay, that's not going to happen today, because it would just be real, just pulling stuff. But the understanding that a door is open when you see the rainbow, and since the full moon indicates in the book of Enoch that tomorrow the sun is rising in a new gate. Now, because we're going into an eternal kingdom, we're going to have to stop tracking time. No more dates. We're going to follow gates. So we understand when we're in the seasonal gates, the season of your birth. We don't celebrate birthdays. You celebrate the season of your birth according to the days of remembrance and the book of remembrance. So a wicked and perverse generation would have to ask for a sign, because when the sign is given by the Most High, they don't like what it means for them. You see, we haven't been decoding scripture correctly until we came out of Babylon. Once we came out of Babylon, we now realize it's us and them. It's the Most High's way or eternal damnation. That's how it's going to end for them. For us, we have to start moving toward the celestial. So if we look at Ezekiel chapter 1, verses 26 through 28, it reads, "And above the firmament there was over the heads was the likeness of a throne, as the appearance of a sapphire stone. And upon the likeness of the throne was the likeness as the appearance of a man above upon it. And I saw as the color of amber, and as the appearance of fire round about within it, from the appearance of his loins even upward." So someone is sitting on the throne. "And from the appearance of his loins even downward, as I saw it were the appearance of fire, and it had brightness round about, and as the appearance of a bow that is in the cloud in the day of rain, and so was the appearance of the brightness round about. This was the appearance of the likeness of the glory of the Most High. So when you see the sign that you're seeing, where you see the rainbow, this is during the day in Japan, because rainbow.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, because I mean, it's
You're
going in and out over
yeah,
here on
you're
mine.
kind of going in and out.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
So
so I guess we know we're talking something that's too deep, right? Real esoteric here. So when you see the appearance of the rainbow, now again, this is during the day in Japan, March 3rd. That's the full moon that you can see opposite the sun, and obviously there had to be some rain, and then the rain held up, and then the sun came out, and then the rainbow comes over that. That is our sign. That is a sign. And that's why Messiah said a wicked and perverse generation is asking for signs. You don't ask for it. We get signs from the Most High.
mm-hmm. That's
He
right.
gives us signs. These are his things. So when I started looking into it and I realized it's the throne, and then, of course, with Revelation chapter 4, where it says, behold, a door was opened in heaven. And it tells you that, the rainbow is signifying that. And then I put it together with the book of Enoch, knowing that the next day after a full moon, we're in a new gate.
Mm-hmm.
We're in a new gate. It just so happens that tomorrow we're going into the Baraka gate.
That's right.
Okay, so again, the alignment is March 28th to April 5th. So what you want to do, it's a spiritual alignment. All right. So you can create actions. You have to be precise. You have to have clarity. And you can write this down again, give something up, throw it away, something that represented an old part of you. You got to start letting go of all the negativities and everything, because things are going to get harder in the earth. And we have to keep our frequency high by being the Most High's cheerleaders.
That's right.
Okay? Because if
Mm-hmm.
not, so there's another scripture, and I'm not really going to bring it out right now, but it talks about the fact that when we're in the last days, if we're starting to let the curses of 83 affect us emotionally, it's not going to be good. And
That's right.
so get your playlist. At the top of mine is Celebrate Good Times. I play that. You're going to have to, because I'm telling you, things are not going to get better for them. They will get better for us as long as we're in a higher frequency. So when these portals are open and these alignments are happening, stay focused, write your stuff down, let it go in terms of any anxiety about it. But everything that's biblical is going to be inevitable. And so we have to be the ones prepared. So the celestial realm is active right now. And it's going to be more active in the last days of the wicked. So he's giving us these signs, and we have to understand what they are. All of them are a promise under the covenant. The promise to Noah was division of land. Don't eat any blood. The earth will be destroyed with fire as well as water. That's the best way to read it. Or should I say the wicked, not the earth. The wicked will be destroyed with fire and water. But these are the things that we should be striving for his throne.
I'm back.
You were
Can you hear
gone?
me? Yeah,
They
yeah,
knocked you out?
yeah.
Oh wow. Well, I just finished my monologue.
Well, I appreciate that. I do. All praise to the Most High. At least they didn't knock you out. I mean, they, this is what we have to contend with. But they can't vex us. They're not going to get me all upset because of their ways, because it's going to get out anyway. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Well, I finished with the fact that, um we're going into this alignment for this short window period that ends on April 5th.
yeah, and that's what I was saying before they knocked me out. Yes, we need to be rejoicing. This is this is what it's about. I mean, why would we not want to rejoice? Why would we sit back and be saddened by the ways of the heathen? Yes, is it going to be? Is it going to be is it going to be nice? Is it going to look good? No, but it's not going to affect our walk. It's not going to affect our want and will and drive and motivation to our salvation. It's not. Our kingdom is our salvation. The enemies that fall 10,000 to the left, 10,000 to the right, that's of no consequence to us. And that's what everybody out here is upset about with us, because we don't care. Now that we understand that we have no allies out here, no one, when we were trying to ally with people, we're like, hey, you know what? Let's be friends. Let's help each other. Let's do that. They'll be like, yeah, that's cool. Let's do that. And then as soon as they were able to gain, they left us. And this has been a scenario that's happened over and over and over again. At some point, you would think that these heathens would realize, oh shoot, these people gonna wake up
Hello?
right. But no, they didn't. They don't. They don't even consider that. So now here at the end of their reign, when everything is going crazy and they're becoming even more insane, they want us to help them with energy. Like the energy, the frequency, the vibration that we're bringing every day to our own lives is is strong. It's strong. And are we supposed to feel bad that others can't get it and can't get along? No. Why would we do that? Like that doesn't make sense. Now, if you're out here cleaving and and the Father has given you the ability to understand, and you are cleaving and making a stand for our Elohim and his people and his children, so be it. Find yourself, but thank the Most High that he found you worthy and approved. Don't be mad at us because we are found worthy and approved. See, the whole earth had one mission, one purpose, one mission and one purpose.
Right.
And that was to bring us to jealousy. Now, jealousy and envy, now that we don't care about what they got going on, now that we don't want their material dainties, now that we understand that we're rich and we don't need them at all, now they're upset, but yet their purpose is done, right?
That yes, they have no more purpose. Their purpose right now is to satisfy the blood that was spilled.
That's correct.
That's
And
their
they,
only purpose.
and they don't want to talk about that because that is a it's a sting. It's a pain. It's a massive thing that they can't get away from. And that's what we were talking about last week. The sins of the father to
Shall
the
come to
son.
bear down to the
That's
third
right.
and fourth generation.
That's right. And they don't understand that the way that they could get rid or do away with the sins of their fathers is to change from doing the sins of their fathers. But they never
That's the
did.
first step.
Right. They never did. And they, people, oh, well, you know what? I don't like to hear that. I can't help that. That's not our problem. You all did this. You need to be talking to your churches, your politicians, your corporations. That's what you guys need to be dealing with. You don't need to worry about what we talk. Oh, well, you guys are just so mean. I like what you're saying, but you're mean about it. What the hell do you want from us? That's not for us. This is our term. We're not doing the things that your people did to us. So why all the fuss? Just go talk. It's like Europeans over there, they're going, I can't believe you Americans are allowing all this madness to go on. And they're talking to their own people. They're not talking to us. They're wondering how and why that these American Europeans allowed Trump to get in. And we're going, well, it wasn't us. And they're going, we know, but we don't understand why they did it. But yet at the same time, these people over here are coming after us. It's like stop. Go deal with who you need to deal with. But yet that was not what was written. So now the land. So when they leave here and go back to Europe, the Europeans are going to have something. We're going to deal with them. It's like I was hearing that when you go when the American Europeans go to Europe or any nation, they ask them questions. And the questions that the Europeans and all these other nations are asking them is, who'd you vote for? And if they go, oh, you voted for Trump, and they ostracize them. They're not ostracizing us. Shoot, we ain't got nothing to do with this. We didn't vote for this. We didn't approve this. We don't believe in this. Matter of fact, every treaty that they made with our people, they broke it. So at the end of the day, we're not part of their madness. This is, and you were talking earlier, this is the mental fitness that we be talking about. The mental fitness to be able to rejoice at the signs of the sky, rejoice at the restitution, the salvation, the redemption. This is what we're to do. We're not here to be boo-hoo, boo-hoo. No, we are here to do what we were set to do. Once we came out of perdition from the heathen, we had to rejoice at that because, my goodness, don't nobody understand that we've been put down on our own land? And now that we're raised up, you think for a minute we're going to just give that shit up? Are you crazy? Again, mental fitness versus mental illness. The mental illness is those that cannot understand that they've been lied to, that Paul and Saul is fictitious, that Jebus is fictitious. Again, we didn't kill our brother. We didn't murder him. We didn't beat him. We didn't stick him. We didn't crucify him. We went into idolatry because it was fun. We enjoyed it. And now until different, dumb diverses. And so at the time of dumb diverses, age of discovery, colonization, these people took the kingdom of heaven through violence. And the violent took it by force. And the kingdom's in us. And that's what they don't understand. That's what they don't get. They think that the church, they think that Jebus is all of it. No, that's a piece of it, but it's out of context and the narrative of it is incorrect. So right now we're the ones that's setting the record straight, and all of them are trying to berate us into believing that they can do the right thing. No, they can't. It wasn't written that way. That's why you got the Blassels, the Campites, the campsites, you got the vassals, you got the Christians, you got the Muslims, the Hindus, you got all these people who took a piece of our heritage. our heritage. That's why he said, I'm going to judge you for what you did to my people, my heritage, Yashar'EL, and for parting my land. So when we deal with it from a Hebrew masculine perspective, the world's upset at us, so be it. Selah. Selah. We ain't worrying. We're waiting for the fall, the complete capitulation of all of Psalms 83 nations, so we can move forward and get to our kingdom and be at rest. All praise to the Most High.
Yes. You can see the physical, the spiritual destruction in the physical when you look at the White House.
Mhm.
A
Yeah.
historic building, he just went and ripped it down, and now the judges did a cease and desist. So now it looks like trash. Okay.
But again,
So,
they're destroying the white.
right. So I'm getting a kick out of this. I'm like,
You can't even
this
make
is
this
good news. This is good news because now the judge is like cease and desist. And then he goes and complains, well, there's a big hole in the wall. And the judge basically said, well, that's not my problem. That's your problem.
Mhm.
So
Yep.
now he has just made the White House look ghetto. So he's the ghetto.
Mm-hmm.
He's a gangster. I'm telling you, he's a gangster. Okay.
So remember his first reign, his first rulership. He said he talked so dirty about all the other nations. He said just
Yeah. Oh, they were third world and all of that.
third world ghetto nations. Now he's actually doing exactly what he said. So this is what they don't understand as well.
Right.
Their words hold a lot of weight now in the new age, the age of Aquarius. So the more words that you put out in the negative, they come back to you faster. So
That's true.
now
You
he's
just touched
coming.
on
He's
something. You
yeah,
just touched on
they're
something.
saying
You
these
just touched
things.
on something. So
What's that?
the more words that we Yashar'EL put out positive for Yashar'EL, the
Exactly.
more it'll come back to Yashar'EL.
Exactly. Because the ruach of karma, that karmatic ruach, is
Right.
out here as well. So
Aquarius.
so so when we are speaking righteously, hence why we're talking about righteousness, when we speak righteously, it comes to us. When they speak wickedly about anybody or anything, it comes back to them wickedly, even if they accuse, even if they think that they're right, but they're wrong. Why? Because they didn't study it out, they didn't study the matter out. It comes back to them. This pendulum that they set in motion, 1430, is now swinging back towards them. This
Mm-hmm.
notion that Thomas Jefferson explained to them heathen forefathers of theirs, that, hey, this exchange of situation will come. They dismissed then, now is back on them. They want to say it wasn't us now, today, it wasn't us. But what they don't understand is in the age of Aquarius, the regeneration of the ruachs, of the spirits of old, is back. That's the 12th woe. That's the attack of the Shadim. So when their people, their ancestors were evil, although they thought they weren't, they were evil to our people. So they don't want to remember. They don't want those people to come back. They're trying to not have that spirit, that ruach, come back. Where we invite ours back, our righteous spirits back. And as we invite ours, guess what? Theirs come too. Because everyone has to be judged in the regeneration. Everybody's talking about the resurrection, the resurrection. Well, what the hell? We're in the resurrection. It's now. When you are enlightened, illuminated, you are being resurrected. Now, if you are being illuminated and resurrected in righteousness, then that's a good thing. If you're being illuminated and regenerated in wickedness, then that's not a good thing. And that is what the whole world is struggling with today because they never made amends for their past forefathers and foremothers' sins. We have. We've done this thing. That's why we can sing righteously, rejoicing at our kingdom to come. And we ain't worried about what they got going on. Literally, we smile, we enjoy. Where we used to have to smile and shuck and jive for them, now we do it for our father, our mother, our brother. And guess what? It feels good to do it righteously. And that's what they can't understand. This is the time of cleansing, of
Right.
purging. And you can't cleanse a thing if you don't know that it needs to be cleansed. And they can't cleanse because they can't understand that they're dirty. Where we had to know, we were told, you dirty, you dirty, literally and figuratively our entire existence. And now that our Father has come to us, allowed our mother to come to us, allowed our brother to come to us to show us how to cleanse ourselves. And now we are clean. I won't say pristine, but we are cleaner than we have been. And we're getting cleaner every day. Now the world is full, full of their dismay. And for that, we rejoice. That's the rejoicing, because we know that the exchange of situation is at hand. We understand the plan of the Most High. We understand that for us to move forward, we have to be a collective, unified people, something that the whole world never seen. Why? Because we were scattered. Now we're being regathered. These are the signs of the times. So hold on. Let me just say this, and I'm gonna be quiet for a second. Where is it?
You're good.
Where is it?
I was going to say, now that we're clean, it's time to rebuild.
Right. So
It's time to rebuild our kingdom.
Exactly. We are the brick that the master has allowed to now fix our.
We are the chief cornerstone.
That's right. The remnant within the remnant. That's what everybody gets upset about, because they're like, oh, you guys think that no, stop. Just do what you need to do. Don't worry about us. Don't worry about me. Don't worry.
That's why they wanted us to attribute everything to a Jesus and not to ourselves, because then we don't have the power within, we got the power without.
That's right.
So now when you realize Messiah is an example, he's not to be worshipped, only the Father. So to have the power within is to know that you walk in the path of Messiah, of Hamashiach.
That's right.
You don't worship him. You walk with him.
And that is a wonderful walk. See, they make it hard, because for them it's very hard, because you walk the walk of Jesus. For them, that's the walk of him picking up his cross and dying and being murdered.
I do what I want to do until my deathbed, and then I say, Jesus, forgive me, and then I go to heaven.
Exactly.
It doesn't work like that.
No.
You got to have works, and your works got to continue into the new kingdom. It doesn't end at the door.
No.
I used to tell these Christians, Messiah is at the door. You don't stop there. You got to go through the door to get to the throne.
That's right. Those are wise words, because walking and working towards the purpose of the Most High is a wonderful thing. That is a rejoicing thing. So what they wanted us to do is just to have faith. If you're going to believe in something, believe in me. They wanted us to believe in a deity, an idol, so that we can curse ourselves. But now that we know better, and the remnant within the remnant is speaking on it and talking about it and cutting people down up for it, the world is not able to do anything. That's why they running and hiding, trying to figure out who Adin niggas on their necks. The whole world is questioning who we are. That's why Ghana wants to come over and, oh, well, you know, the niggas, we need your money. And then they go get flooded out. That's why, and that's a sign. So wait. So the prophetic signs for Israel to rejoice based on scripture is one, the regathering from the nations, right? That's in the process. The land blooming, right? The transformation of the desert into a fruitful landscape is a sign of the Most High's favor. Now, where is the land blooming? Where is the desert blooming? Right here in America, in Death Valley, blooming. All right,
And
restoration.
not just that, but it's blooming in us because see, they want us to think that it's some desert
Esoterically.
far away.
That's right. That's right.
We were the
That's right.
desert. We were in a valley of dry bones.
That's right.
So a lot of this is spiritual. It's blooming in us because when they don't center their righteousness around us, they get cursed.
That's right. That's right, sis. That's the key, because the esoteric and the exoteric is the duality. People don't understand, but that's too high for fools. See, that's too high for fools. Understanding the esoteric wisdoms as it relates to our walk. And they don't understand that. They can't understand duality, right? Restoration of Jerusalem. Jerusalem is another name for our people, the 10 tribes. That's our place. That is the totality of the whole house they're in. So the restoration, that's what we talk about, restoring. None shall restore. So we ain't worrying about the heathen trying to give us money, a piece of paper that's worth a dime and a nickel. What the hell's that going to do for us? Give me a little something on the gas? Nigga, please. We looking for all of it, right?
And not only that, but the Most High has to get the glory in the restoration, not us, because I can't restore. First of all, they have the money. They have the gold. Mm-hmm. All of 83 have the gold to pay us, but they would bankrupt.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to get bankrupt anyway because the billionaires that are hoarding the money. And so again, if the economy crashes, then a billionaire is a poor person.
That's right.
You got to understand that. You got to understand how the stock market works. It can drop to a penny and recover. Once it hits zero, it never goes back.
It's done.
Right. So whether the market crashes or the price of everything goes through the roof because we have a wonderful clown that the Most High has a puppet on a string with all of the rest of the clowns up there, we're going to be okay. We don't have to hoard. If you get a good value on laundry detergent, that's good. Take advantage of it, but don't hoard food. The Most High don't want no old food. Everything has to be clean. He will take care of us. That's what that rainbow is. That rainbow is a promise, not just for the destruction of how the earth will be, but for the promise of our land to be returned to us, because land was divided when Noah got off the boat, and the rainbow is the covenant under Noah. So all of the land will be returned because all of the wicked will be removed. There's not going to be a division of earth anymore. So these things are happening, and if we can take advantage of these alignment, like with Saturn, moving next to Pluto, it changes, it can cause the change in power dynamics. So we have to focus on, that window of us getting in alignment personally with the Most High, because for me, I've been doing a lot of cleaning, and I think that, like you said, cleansing and then rebuilding. So again, for your alignment, you should want to get rid of something that represents your old, that you don't need to hold on to, that Babylonian, it can be more than one thing. And you should also then focus on what your position is going to be in the kingdom, because everybody's going to have a position in the kingdom, and it's time that each individual focus with the Most High on what they're going to have in the kingdom. Working together, the nation, we're going to have to start working together, because that's how we're going to get through everything we're doing. So you got to be of service to the nation. I'm going to try to help somebody with some farming. When I first came on your broadcast, I had a really crappy laptop. Mama T sent me a nice laptop. These are services that we have to do for the nation. We have to start working together, because things are going to get tough. And we don't really want to be up in Babylon. Listen, I really don't want to have to order anything else from Amazon. Do I have a choice? I do. I don't. The last great deal I got through Walmart, because I found out Walmart online sells high-end products only online, but I can't deal with them. So we have to find ways of the nation coming together and working. And those are things that each individual got to take to the Most High first, because you have to figure out what talent you have and how you can contribute to the nation. So if you can sing, you do albums, so that way we have good things to listen to that worships the Most High. If you make products that are natural, then we should be purchasing them. Things are costing money, but if you work with the Most High, you should be able to reduce price so everybody can buy, because one of the biggest ways to an economic windfall is basically the Coca-Cola principle. Sell a product for cheap, and everybody will buy it.
That's right. That's right.
Okay.
So let me finish these signs, because we ended with the restoration, right?
Right.
So then
Rebuilding.
it's rebuilding and security. So that's another thing. Are we not rebuilding? Are we rebuilding? Like, is Ish rebuilding? No, they're tearing down. They're being destroyed. They're destroying, right? And then spiritual recognition of Yahweh Shai, right? Are we not spiritually recognizing our brother for who he is, who he was, and who he will be? Are we not doing that? Everybody else, you got the 5% of the five bookers. And I ain't even mad at them, but they don't even acknowledge Yahweh Shai. You got the ones that all up in this nuanced testament madness, talking about Jebus and idol. And you got the camps, I don't even know. Everybody talking about Yahuwah, Yahusha, this, that, and the third. We're talking about Yahweh Shai for justice for him, and him showing us the way to our kingdom. That's what we're talking about. So we're not the same as everybody else. So when these fools always talking about we and us, no, there's no we and us in this. There's a separation of groups. And when you're dealing with one of us, the mishpachah, the remnant within the remnant, the wheel within the wheel, you're dealing with all of us and our Elohim. So hold on. So the totality of it is the fig tree putting forth leaves. So we are putting forth righteous leaves. We're bringing righteous leaves and we're adding to the tree of life. We're not eating no longer off the tree of knowledge of good and evil. We could care less about that tainted, sour tree. That's what the heathens deal with. So we're over here speaking righteously about each other, about our day to day, about our future, about our past, and about our present, which is just gone. Our present was 5 minutes ago. Now we're dealing with our future. We're seeking our future to the kingdom, while everybody else is seeking their past in the 20th century. And that's their problem. Again, forward thinking versus froward thinking. If you're froward, you're disobedient. You're trying to get people to go backwards. You're trying to make the fig tree barren again. And we're not going to allow that. We're not here to deal with a Eurocentric, Afrocentric, Asiatic centric ideology perspective on our scriptures. We're bringing forth the perspective, the righteous perspective, how it was, is, and shall be. So everybody else out here who gets mad, who wants to come in and say crazy things, needs to recognize that the more you talk against us, the more you talking against our Elohim. And that's going to be a curse to you. Go ahead, sis.
Yeah, and it dawned on me that Messiah, he was pretty much like Enoch. He walked and then he walked with the Most High. He ascended too. And that's why another reason why they took the book of Enoch out, because there's Elijah was taken up too. So, when I think of that, I know Messiah was definitely human and then became more based on his work for the kingdom, what he did for us. Now, for me, when I saw that Saturn is next to Pluto, basically, March 28th. March 28th is when that picture came across my feed with the moon under the rainbow as well. So right away, when I realized that Revelation 4 says a door opens and the rainbow, right? I can't help but know or understand that, again, between March 28th and April 5th, a portal is definitely open. It doesn't say I'm not saying March 5th it's going to close. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that the door is open. So that is for us to work on our alignment, to align with what we have to do to either rebuild the kingdom, restore our culture, things like that. And if you take the time to communicate with the Most High, he will give you the information you need so that you can help yourself and the kingdom advance. The more we advance to the Most High's throne, the harder they're going to fall.
Yeah. It is their winter. It is their winter. It is the world's winter, and it's our spring. Go ahead, sis.
And then right after the 28th, this song kept popping in my head, and I sent you the lyrics. And the song says, I saw the sign, and it opened up my eyes by Ace of Base. And then the lyric says, life is demanding without understanding. Life is demanding without the Ruach HaKadosh. Okay? And then the last part says, no one can drag you up into the light where you belong. Only you can bring yourself into the kingdom. There's nobody else that can do it, because there's nobody that's going to be standing with you on Judgment Day when you have to answer to the Most High. It's going to be you and him. And right. Messiah, if you look at Revelation 4 and also Revelation 10, if you read through it, you'll understand that Messiah is holding a book. He's got a book in one hand and a sword in the other. It's a two-edged sword. It cuts both ways, literally. So we're in the age where 83 is on the way out. We have to help to rebuild and restore the kingdom. We're not in charge of it. He is the general contractor. You got to figure out which tool you can bring to help build that kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
And so during this window of alignment period, ending on, well, I think the door is more open. And then every day we move a degree into a day. So the door begins to shut until the
Yeah.
next full moon. And then we go into a curse gate.
Mm-hmm.
So every time we go, now we're coming out, we just came out of a double curse gate, and we saw at the beginning of March 3rd was the full moon. Right after that, there was 2 volcanoes in Hawaii, 2 floods in Hawaii. So we know Big Judah did some damage over there. Okay.
He did. He put the wood to them over there, y'all.
Okay.
So
We
did.
know he did some
He got
damage over
wood
there.
to.
When he went up on December 4th, full moon, whatever he did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, 2 evacuations,
Presence. Yep.
150,000 people evacuated from one town. So all of this was happening after the full moon, March 3rd, all these double things. And then, as you saw the other day, the 2 pilots died. Okay, so
Yep.
that's my indication that as we're moving into the Brucker Gate, things kind of taper off a bit so we can enjoy the blessings. We got to carry that over when we go back into curse gates and double curse gates. That's why, again, this alignment is very important. It's going to be important, again, that you clean out, clean up, prepare to rebuild, sit down, ask the Most High what you need to do in the kingdom, because when you get a job from him, he's going to pay you, so you don't have to worry about nothing. I'm telling you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then watch 83 burn and cheer for the Most High for what he does. You don't have to cheer for the destruction, but you can cheer for his inevitability
Of the destruction.
of whatever is to come. Just be
Sure.
happy for whatever he got in store.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
And whatever you do, do not mourn the loss of the wicked, though. Don't mourn it. You can't.
And I gotta interject, and that's the
Go
thing.
ahead.
That's the thing. We are no longer mourning or gnashing of teeth. We are not in sorrows. So as Romy's saying, you don't have to gloat and boast over the heathen's downfall. It's an all encompassing thing. So we're rejoicing at our salvation, inadvertently rejoicing at their fall. We're not out here going, I want you all dead and that's all. No, because at the end of the day, what is written will happen. And if it is to be, it will be. So for me, yes, I want these fools off the land. I want these fools out of my way. I want this system to be destroyed utterly. And all those connected to it, if they have dismay, so be it. But my rejoicing is in my salvation, which still is to see the fall of my enemies. Why? Because a lot of people did a lot of things. I am my ancestors. So for me, yeah, okay, maybe I had a better life than my ancestors. I agree. But they want justice. So for me, I have to allow their ruachs to come through me to obtain justice. And if some fool that I don't know that did them, that had a father, an uncle, a brother, a grandfather, do something dirty to them, so be it. Let them pay. Let them pay the ultimate price with their life. And I'm out the way. I'm not tripping, but I'm not going to stand in the Most High's way as he brings justice for just us. All right. I just need to say that.
No, I mean, the moment you start to feel sorry for the loss of Babylon, you're going against the Most High's will. And you don't want to do that. So, that's what even 83 has to understand. We're not causing anything that's happening. Well, indirectly we are, because once we woke up under the
That's
covenant,
right.
we
That's
get
right.
the protection. Now the Most High can scourge the earth. Well, the wicked. I got to stop saying the earth. And again, don't
The
believe
scourge is the wicked.
Right. Don't believe the hype. No, I have to stop saying destroying the earth or scourging the earth. He's destroying the wicked. He's scourging the wicked.
That's right.
But stop believing the hype that they got these things that can destroy us. Because if they did, we wouldn't be here right now. Okay, they don't have nothing. Babylon Rising. Anybody know about that real quick? That's Jack Parsons. Jack Parsons was a nut job. He blew himself up in the Mojave Desert, but he's the one that started Jet Propulsion Laboratories. They now General Electric. Well, they're still Jet Propulsion, but he had a best friend, L. Ron Hubbard, the guy that started Scientology. So L. Ron, he left the desert, but he ended up dying anyway. So Jack Parsons wanted to reincarnate Satan or whatever, some beast, some demon, and he ended up blowing himself up, creating these rockets and things like that. So that was like the 1950s, before the space so-called program. And now you got, again, this Artemis 2 that can't even land on the moon, talking about if they can build a space station, because they can't land on the moon. The moon is not a solid object.
Right. Which they're fools, but go ahead, sir.
According to the book of Enoch, it's light. It's not solid. You can't land on it. Okay. I was looking at this other astronomy show the other day, independent, and he said when you put on the aluminum refractor lens on his telescope, the sun doesn't look like the way they make it look, like it's burning molten lava. The sun is light.
Yep, it is.
And right. And they hide all of that. NASA gives us all these pictures, right, of what's out there. But now all they can do is slingshot around the moon. And now they're talking about building a space station. Yeah, you have to, because you can't build nothing on the moon. So when they build a space station, they should be able to send a rocket from there to Mars. Okay. These people have lost their mind. Do you not understand this?
Of course they have.
Right. So the whole thing is this. The Most High is taking them out fast, and he'll move faster if we move faster toward his throne. Because the closer we get to his throne will eventually have to kind of hover over us at some point. And then eventually, when we're in the new kingdom, and this is all in Ezekiel and these other chapters, we won't need sunlight and we won't need moonlight. There will be no time clock. It will be eternal. So they don't want that. They don't want the time to end, because and the time is going to be shortened. The time gets shortened by the harder we work to restore our kingdom.
Well, isn't that what he said? He said, if not for the elect's sake, I have to shorten time, or these fools would like him to destroy it all.
Right. And so our job is to work harder to get our position in the kingdom, so that way we know what we're doing and how to do it to please the Most High, because it's not our way, it's his way.
That's right. That's right. And that's what's got everybody vexed right now, because they don't know the way of the Most High. Why? Because the brother, Yahweh Shai, is not guiding them. Who's guiding them? The lesser principalities that was set up over the nations to do what? Lead them astray from him. And
Right.
that's why you can only cleave. You can't cling. You can't bust up. You can't, hold down. You can't, none of that stuff's happening anymore. It's just not. The only way that you can the only way that you're going to be vetted to cleave is come by way of us. And people may think that, oh, you're arrogant. And okay, whatever. We'll see. When you get to the doors, you guys think the world thinks oh, I'm going to heaven. We're talking about the kingdom. In the kingdom, you'll know what tribe you are. Everybody out here, oh, I'm Judah. Nigga, you don't know who you are. Your whole focus and goal should be to the kingdom. So when you get there, the scrolls will determine what tribe you are. And when you get through the door, then you're in the kingdom, then all things will be as they should be and rejoicing. Right now, we just have to enjoy, rejoice, practice the righteous acts, treat each other with respect and love, and push forward through all of the heathen smugness, their downtroddenness, their evil tactics, their agendas, their secret combinations. Because Psalms 83 and the nations are going to perish. Listen, wickedness cannot sustain the same light as it moves forward, as things grow. As we build, something's got to be torn down because we're not building for them. We're not building for the heathen's crown. So something's got to go. So if people don't know, they should know that there's always a remnant. I mean, look at the heathens. They get a remnant. They got a remnant. You know what their remnant is? China, Russia, and Iran. That's their remnant because they're all going to cleave to them. And they're going to try to make them their gods. Now, what do they represent? You got China, Buddhist, Iran, Christian, or Krishna, or whatever, right? You got Russia, we don't know what they are, atheists. So you got these people who are outside of the kingdom already that the heathen's going to cleave to, which makes sense because we only want a remnant. There's only going to be a few. This isn't about the many, it's about the few. So as everybody gets pushed across the seas, across the pond, and we get to start cleansing our lands and people get up off of it, then that's when our kingdom comes. That's how we are the brick. Each one of us are the bricks. We're the bricks. They talking about, oh, the bricks is Brazil, Russia, India, and China. No, the children of Yashar'EL are the bricks, the real bricks. That's why Net Nasty, who is over there talking about, oh, well, kill another heifer so we can maybe get some energy. That's why that Indian woman in Congress is trying to talk about giving the immigrants reparations. Okay, that's fine. You guys can continue to try to get energy off of us, but it's not going to work because nobody cares. We don't care about what you have. You have nothing to offer us. There's no, like, what today can they offer us to allow us to stop seeking our kingdom? Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing. It's
Remove
crazy.
themselves. They could remove themselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They could literally remove themselves, but that's about it. And the Most High is doing a good job. And I don't feel sorry for anyone. I
No.
truly don't. Anything that's happening, I say, you know what, Father, it's your will, and I keep it moving because I'm not going against the Most High. I'm never going to go again. I'm not going to hell for my mother, my father, my sister, my brother, my child, my grandparents. I'm not going to hell for nobody.
Mm-hmm.
No one. So in these last days, when I see signs like this, and I realize there's more to the covenant under Noah. There has to be, and I haven't even done a deep dive into all of that. I just know that there are specific things about, again, never to eat the blood of any animal or any blood or drink blood. Um, the land was divided up, the land was given out. Now the land will be given back to us because there's nowhere on earth that 83 has ruled righteously.
No.
Even when Europe came out of Africa, the leaders over there was still robbing their people, was still selling out.
Yeah.
you know and I'm sorry, I don't see really what Nelson Mandela did for South Africa. I think Ibrahim Traore is doing a lot more for Burkina Faso than any other president has, because he kicked the French out.
Well, I mean, but again, as he should. That's what they should be doing. They should take
Take back what is theirs.
right. Don't worry about us. We're gonna get everything that we deserve that was taken from us. So it will best behoove them today to get what little they gave away back to themselves.
Right.
Because we're gonna get all our lands back. Ham may get his. Japhet, I guess, will get his. But at the end of the day, we're gonna get ours. We're not concerned by Ham and Japhet. We're
I
not
don't even
concerned
think
at all.
they're not going to. None of okay. I don't think any Hamite or any none of them are going to be in control of any land. It's a different kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
They're going
Exactly.
to. They're either going to be the strangers or they're going to be gone.
That's true.
They're not the natural branches either.
No, at all.
So that's why, for me, the way the land is going to go, it's the land to me. It was always one landmass, and then after the Tower of Babel, the land got split up by language and regions and earthquakes and whatever. When the kingdom comes, I don't know how the land is going to be, but I know none of them is going to be in charge. That much I do know, that they're not. We're going to be the ones in charge of the new kingdom. They're just going to be strangers, servants, and they need to be grateful that we don't have their type of heart for
Exactly.
revenge and vengeance. But
Right.
they're not going to deny me my joy as I watch the wicked be removed from the earth. I'm going to be
Exactly.
grateful. I'm going to be celebrate good times. Come on. That's my
Yeah.
theme song.
Yeah. Exactly. No doubt. That's what the whole thing's all about. We are finding our way in comfort from our Ruach HaKodesh and our brother's light, his illumination. Whereas everybody else is out here dismissing the brother, dismissing the mother, and just trying to go right to the father. And the father's like, I never knew you. I never knew you. I don't know you. You walking over my people, you walking past my son, and you dismissing and disrespecting the mother, the ruach, the dove. It's a wrap. I never knew you. And this is why we're standing over here strong and true. Every day we get bolder, we get stronger, we get bolder, we get stronger. Soon we will be the mighty men and women, that far exceeding army that the heathen can't contend with. That's why they're going to turn around, they're going to see the Most High, and they're going to try to fight him in the sky. And it's going to be the end of them. And
That's
they,
why that's
and
why
they,
they got all their missiles pointed up.
exactly,
They're
exactly.
gonna,
You see
they
it,
don't they
you
don't
can
have
see
it
it.
pointed at us. I mean,
No,
because what is it going to do? They're going to end up destroying their own selves too.
exactly.
Whenever they pointed, that's why I'm wondering, like, if Jack Parsons was pointing that missile at us and then it blew up on him, he died.
Mhm.
So yeah, because you don't know what these people have tried to do. We don't
Mhm.
know everything that they've tried to do. We don't know everything. We're learning, we're understanding. We're like, well, where are
Mhm.
those giant ships that cross the Atlantic? Where's even a piece of driftwood? Show me a driftwood from one of those slave ships. You
Yeah.
know, you don't even have that. So I don't and the Negro slave museums, none of them have that. They got pictures, but you know, pictures can be fabricated. So everything that they've said, you know, their lies are being exposed. And again, the White House is symbolic of the destruction that's coming to them because their own people, they're imploding
Yeah.
within.
Yeah, they are. And again, mental illness. That's what's on tap. The consternation of the nations in 2026. It's going to be a lot of people doing crazy things, thinking crazily. You're going to have Trump out there just lying to these people. And
He's
they're going
like
to be, I
left
mean,
and right.
just lying.
He's
And,
like,
and I mean, I
right.
can't even.
Listen, you see his nose growing every time he talks, right?
Every time he talks, every time that dude opens his
I
mouth, he's
mean,
lying,
I
and
mean,
and and they all are lying. They all are lying, and these people are eating it up. Like, no, no, oh, really, Trump, really, and he's just, I can't even get over how much he's lying. But in 2027, then you're gonna see after the lying is done. Guess what's coming? The dying,
mm-hmm.
because the mind's a terrible thing to waste. And we know this because we've been in that space as a people. So now in 2027, it's going to be some trouble afoot. And the camp's talking about, oh, Jacob's trouble. Jake ain't in trouble. We ain't in trouble. We good over here.
I
Now,
mean, maybe, well, maybe it's Jacob's trouble spiritually for the two-third,
but that's
but
that's what I was going to
it's
say.
not
That's right.
Yashar'EL's trouble. It's not
No,
Yashar'EL.
no,
Yashar'EL
no.
are the one-third that's coming back or have come back under the covenant. So
Mm-hmm.
spiritually, they're not wrong.
No,
Physically, they're wrong.
no,
Okay.
no.
You see, the camps, if the camps don't come out of, they're the ones bringing Yashar'EL back together,
Mm-hmm.
and they will be under the delusion. Isaiah 11:11 says, he will set his arm a second time
Mm-hmm.
outstretched to gather Yashar'EL
Mm-hmm.
with his fury poured out
Mm-hmm.
on 83. Basically, I've just, paraphrased it.
Sure.
The Most High is the one that has to get the credit for gathering us, for bringing us out of everything, not us getting the credit. So as
Mm-hmm.
long as the camps keep thinking that they're the ones gathering the nation, they will be under the delusion and not understand the difference between Jacob's trouble and Yashar'EL's bracha.
Right. Right.
They're not under Yashar'EL's bracha because they think that they are still Jacob, but
There
because
you go. There
right,
you go. There
but
you go.
because they came under the covenant, they're not Jacob, but they can't see that.
Mm-hmm. They can't.
And
They
so
can't see.
because they still think they're Jacob,
Mm-hmm.
Jacob is the two-third. Jacob is our family members that scoff at us when we
Mm-hmm.
tell them we don't do Christmas or the pagan or the heathen.
Right.
That's who Jacob is. And we got to
Mm-hmm.
understand they're the two-third and they're still under the curses.
They're still under the curses
They're still
because
under
they
the
won't come up. They won't
right.
come out of the curses.
But Yashar'EL is
Mm-hmm.
under the protection of the
That's
covenant.
right. That's right.
And now we're moving into establishing our bracha loop and our bracha gate
Right.
by
Right.
understanding our purpose for the kingdom. Once you get your purpose for the kingdom, you can establish your bracha loop, and the Most High will take care of you.
Mm-hmm.
He will take care of all your needs, all of it. And
Mm-hmm.
when something is pinching your toe in the shoe, he will take that rock out of your shoe for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the camp doesn't understand that when you're under the covenant, you're no longer Jacob. You're no longer the two-third. They still think that they are that they're Jacob.
Yep.
They preach to the 2/3, but they think that the camp people think they're Jacob.
Yep. Yep.
And so they're not
They're not in the game. They're not in the game. They're not.
right.
They're not. They're
They're not
still.
operating on higher
They're
frequencies
not.
for the
They're not.
Most High.
They're not.
And
And
then they don't want to deal, they really don't want to deal with the esoteric information
nope.
that was given in the book of Enoch, that's given in several books. Numbers. There's a lot of esoteric stuff in the book of Numbers. People don't know that. But the thing is, they don't want to deal with that because they want to stay on the terrestrial level. The Most High said that he's putting these signs in the sky.
Yep. Yep.
And they don't want to look up for their redemption draw nigh. They don't want to look up. They keep looking down.
Yep. They're looking down at mankind at that.
Yeah, that's what the camps, and they're looking down on us.
Yeah.
As a whole, not just us inside the remnant within the remnant. On a whole, they're looking down on us because they can't elevate us or elevate the camp higher than what they're doing.
Yep.
See, they're stuck in a loop, a lower level loop.
And that loop, that loop is varying. It's a loop with the camp. It's a mentality. So you're in a camp mentality loop. You're in a heathen loop. You're in a Jesus loop. You're in a idolatrous loop. There's so many loops out here because that loop is close-ended. Is close-ended. That's why as the story progresses and grows, we get to make it linear. We get to show the chronological from the beginning to the middle to the end, where this whole thing has gone off the rails because the heathens decided to create narratives based on their own vain imaginations. That's why they rage today. That's why they're raging as we're rejoicing today, because we're getting the story back. We're understanding the totality of the story. Yes, we went into trouble. Yes, we were trifling. Yes, we acted complete assholes. Yes, we were idolaters. But now we know better. And because we know better, we do better.
We do
and
better.
Because we doing better, we are better. That's what nobody wants to deal with. It goes back to the to how Christians would always say something about perfection. Well, nobody's perfect. Everybody falls short of the whatever, right? But if you don't ever attempt, if you don't ever go after, if you don't ever do it, yes, you're correct. You will never be perfect. But if you go in perfection trying to do, because everybody out here goes to a job, let's just say, and they go to a job and they try to do it perfectly. But yet when it comes to spirituality, they don't want to talk about that. They don't want to deal in perfection. They don't want to deal with that. Oh, well, you know what? I can't be perfect. So you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and sin. And that's where we come in. We're saying to the world, we are no longer sinning under your idolatry. And because we're no longer doing this, you can't force us to do it. We're just going to watch you struggle because we've moved on from it. And that's a righteous thing. That is perfection. Once you realize that you are imperfect, you should then go be perfect. They're like, oh, Jesus was only perfect. Well, he's your idol. So perfection in his mind was, I have to do the will of the Father perfectly. And then the whole world decided they were going to come against all of us for trying to do that. Oh, you niggas ain't nothing. You guys ain't perfect. You guys think you this, you that, scoffing and mocking, trying to bring us down. Now our energies, now we're higher. We're on a higher plane, a tangent.
Yeah, and yet when we removed our energy from serving Babylon, to serving the Most High, Babylon is now in the gutter.
In the gutter. That's right, sis.
Babylon is, listen, I don't care if things gotta rise 100 times what it is right now. What does uh Revelation say? A day's work, a loaf of bread will cost a day's salary.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Yep.
care. That's what has to happen
Right.
for me to get into the new kingdom where everything is going to be wonderful and glorious and I get to rest. I don't have to sleep, but I get to rest. And there's
Yep.
a big difference between sleeping and resting.
Yep.
So they are like, they can't understand that their kingdom has to go,
Yep.
and it's going. So we removed our energy, and now their kingdom is under complete destruction. And I, for one, am happy.
Mm-hmm. Extremely. And
And
don't care.
for the walk that I've been doing, especially for the last, what, now it's 2026, 5 years.
Uh,
Listen, I'm just going to say this. Y'all been good to me.
mm-hmm. Yes, he has. And when I first realized was touched by the mother, she's been good to me. And when
See?
I understood that our brother, what he was doing for me, he's been good to me. So
See?
now I understand the totality of my Elohim. My Elohim is good to me. As long as I'm good to them, because a lot of people don't love them. They think that they love, oh, well, God, the creator loves everyone. No, he doesn't.
Well,
He loves those who love him, who love them. What does that even make sense? Oh, well, I hate your God. Well, but he loves you. See, that's some Christianity madness. That's
and
a
you
that's
got
a
to,
mental illness in itself.
right, because you got to love the Most High the way He tells you to, not the way
Correct.
you think you should.
Right.
Yeah, you can't
Right.
come to Him half stepping. They tell you, oh, you come to Him anyway. No, you can't. You cannot. You got to repent, which means not to ask for forgiveness. That's not what repentance means. It means to turn away from the wicked ways, the lawless ways of
That's
insanity,
right.
Christianity, and
Mm-hmm.
come back to the covenant, the law, statutes, and commandment. Your job is to learn it. Your job is to learn how to get close to the Most High. It is through His laws, statutes, and commandment. He is a holy God. You cannot
Mm-hmm.
come before Him unholy, because He will
Mm-hmm.
push that lever and you will hear your voice. So, no.
Mm-hmm.
And so they just want it the way they want it, because they just want to be wicked until they're on their deathbed, and then they go, forgive me, Jeebus, and then they
Mm-hmm.
go to heaven. It
Exactly.
doesn't work like that. You got to have your works and you got to have your faith. They have hope and heroes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Hogan's hero. Did you just say Hogan's heroes?
No, I
Am I
said hope
dating
and
myself?
heroes, but it sounds the same, right?
I was just dating myself. That's what it sounded like to me for a second. Hogan's hero. But go
No,
ahead,
yeah,
sis.
but no, I mean that's why they have that. We have the Most High, we have the covenant, and we have His laws. Oh, I'm so sorry about that. I thought I
Mm-mm. It's time
killed
to
that.
wake up.
No, that's okay.
Yeah.
I just silenced that. I'm so sorry about that. We have the Most High, we have His covenant, and we have Torah, 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 Torah. You
Mm-hmm.
know, the three, what is it? The three important things in real estate is location, location, location. The three important things for eternity is Torah, Torah, Torah. That's the eternal kingdom. You got to know His laws, statutes, and commandments. You got to know when you're getting signs, like what with the rainbow over that. And then it prompt me to look and understand that there's definitely a window opening tonight until the 5th. And so it is our job to work with the signs that the Most High give us to advance the kingdom. We got to clean ourselves up and we got to rebuild. And
Mm-hmm.
once you figure out what you're doing for the kingdom, Yah will be good to you too.
Yeah. All praise to the Most High.
Praise to the Most High.
Yeah. Yeah. All praises. So I'll say this. I got a hourglass, and and we, the wife and I have been, I've been painting, and we got floors done, and so we had to
See,
move all this stuff. I know,
see,
and got to
everybody's
move all
been
this stuff.
cleaning and fixing up.
That's right. We had to move all this stuff, and I found my little hourglass. I was like,
You
that's
see
what.
that?
That's what. And look, I turned it over, and it started going, and it stopped, and it still sitting over there. Stopped. It just stopped. I was like, why is this thing? So I kind of touched it again and started working, and it stopped. I said, okay, Father, you're telling me the time is done.
Right.
So I wanted that to be known, because my hourglass has always worked. This is and it ain't broke or nothing. It was just one side, I had all the sand in it. I just turned it over and it stopped. Now it got a good bit to the bottom, and then it just stopped. So
But
this is our time.
I'm finding the spiritual connection that you two have been. You've also been cleaning up and cleaning
Hmm.
out.
Yep. Show enough.
Because I know that if I'm going to paint a room, everything got to get in the middle of the room or out the room, and then I'm not bringing everything back in because I'm not trying to damage the paint, and everything is clean, and then you clean up.
Hmm.
So I'm
Hmm.
noticing that. So I do believe that this window of time that we have open, this is for us to connect to the Most High and to get clarity on our purpose
Hmm.
for the kingdom going forward. We have to rebuild the kingdom,
Right.
not necessarily physically, but spiritually for sure.
Yep. 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 All praise to the Most High, Sister
All
Romy.
praise to the
All
Most
praise. Ahaya Bashar Ahaya.
High. Ahaya,
All praise.
Ashar, Ahaya.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, I am happy that I am. Or Ahaya Anoki said, I am loving kindness.
Yeah.
And
It is.
Emethiel is out, so I thank the Most High for Emethiel. I have not looked at her, but I'm sure she looks beautiful. But I don't really look at the full moon. I just acknowledge when it is, because, and then, like I said, that sign. So we've been given a sign, and restoration is in our path, not
Mm-hmm.
theirs.
That's right. That is all praises to the Most High. All praises. Brother Slah.
Um,
Shalom. Shalom. You it's 10:42, so we've come to the end of the lesson. And I know that you wanted to bring something out, so let's talk about
we are going to end on the 18th chapter
it.
of the Wisdom of Solomon.
Wait a minute, you're getting some feedback. You're getting
Yeah, I noticed that too. I'm getting feedback.
yeah, I hear echo.
Well, I'm good on my end. I haven't. Is that better?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Once again, chapter 18 of the Wisdom of Solomon. Nevertheless, thy saints had a very great light, whose voice they hearing and not seeing their shape, because they had not suffered the same things, they counted them happy. But for that they did not hurt them now, of whom they had been wronged before, they thanked them and besought them pardon for that they had been enemies. Instead, whereof thou gavest them a burning pillar of fire, both to be a guide of the unknown journey, and an harmless sun to entertain them honorably. For they were worthy to be deprived of light and imprisoned in darkness, who had kept thy sons shut up, by whom the uncorrupt light of the law was to be given unto the world. And when they had determined to slay the babes of the saints, one child being cast forth and saved to reprove them, thou tookest away the multitude of their children, and destroyedst there altogether. Let me say it again, and destroyest them altogether in a mighty water. Of that night were our fathers certified of fore, that assuredly knowing unto what oaths they had given credence, they might afterward be of good cheer. So of thy people was accepted both the salvation of the righteous and the destruction of the enemies. For wherewith thou didst punish our adversaries, by the same thou didst glorify us, whom thou hast called. For the righteous children of good men did sacrifice secretly, and with one consent made a holy law, that the saints should be like partakers of the same good and evil. The fathers now singing out the songs of praise. But on the other side, there sounded an ill-according cry of the enemies, and a lamentable noise was carried abroad for children that were bewailed. The master and the servant were punished after one manner, and like as the king, so suffered the common person. So they altogether had innumerable dead with one kind of death, neither were the living sufficient to bury them, for in one moment the noblest offspring of them was destroyed. For whereas they would not believe anything by reason of the enchantments upon the destruction of the firstborn, they acknowledged this people to be the sons of the Most High. For while all things were in quiet silence, and that night was in the midst of her swift course, thine almighty word leaped down from heaven out of thy royal throne, as a fierce man of war into the midst of a land of destruction, and brought thine unfeigned commandment as a sharp sword, and standing up filled all things with death, and it touched the heaven, but it stood upon the earth. Then suddenly visions of horrible dreams troubled them sore, and terrors came upon them unlooked for. And one thrown here and another there, half dead, showed the cause of his death. For the dreams that troubled them foreshewed us, lest they should perish, and not know why they were afflicted. Yea, the tasting of death touched the righteous also, and there was a destruction of the multitude in the wilderness, but the wrath endured not long. For then the blameless man made haste and stood forth to defend them, and bringing the shield of his proper ministry, even prayer and the propitiation of incense, set himself against the wrath, and so brought the calamity to an end, declaring that he was thy servant. So he overcame the destroyer, not with strength of body, nor force of arms, but with a word subdued him that punished, alleging the oaths and covenants made with the fathers. But when the dead were now fallen down by heaps, one upon another, standing between, he stayed the wrath and parted the way to the living. For in the long garment was the whole world, and in the four rows of the stones was the glory of the fathers graven, and thy majesty upon the diadem of his head. That precepts John 3:16. Final scripture, verse 25. Unto these the destroyer gave place and was afraid of them, but it was enough that they only tasted of the wrath. All praises to the Most High.
All praise to the Most High, Brother
All
Sly. That was
praises to
excellent.
the Most High.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yep. They will only taste wrath.
Yeah. Yeah. And these are the words of their transliteration. And we're just reading. So, as we move forward, we will continue. Mishpachah, know that we have nothing but love for you and protection, and we pray every day for our kingdom. So, Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem. All shout outs to everybody that's putting in the work, everybody that's out here doing their thing for the Father, for our King, to get to our kingdom, knowing that, our time is here. All praise to the Most High, and much love and much respect. We're going to go out with some Almighty and maybe another, but Baruch Hashem for being here, and we'll do it again. All praise to the Most High.
All praises to the Most High.
All right. We'll get to it.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, 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 Almighty, 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 Creator of earth, His blood inside me. We know that it will. Almighty, Almighty, Creator of earth, His blood inside me. We know that He will. Who shall we fear? We got omnipotent, Almighty Father, the Father of Abraham, the Father of Isaac and Jacob, the Almighty. Why would we play with? He sent His Son for the nation, the covenant back in our faces. God, He with us, don't care what we face. Where else we gon' go? We gon' trust in His word. Stay on that narrow, don't trust in no turns. Eyes to the east, everybody gon' learn. Put away your sins, are they all about to burn? Past overcoming, got their blood on me. Unforgiveness had to go, I got the love on me. I believe I got the peace, I got the dove on me. See the kingdom of Yah, I got above on me. Almighty, 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 Creator of earth, His blood inside me. We know that it will. Scattered for many years, now we back. Mind been renewed from this world, we detached. The judgment is coming by His will, that's a slap. The wilderness is coming by His hand, that's a fact. The ark of the covenant, Abba willing, that's a spot. Where He gon' get us? It was prophesied in the land you was sold by His blood. You gon' ride. Babylon falling, it all gon' go wrong. Keep them commandments, we tryna go home. Before you serve me, go serve Him on that throne. Walk as He walk, I'm a clone. Where He gon' get us? Keep commandments, He gon' fight for us. I'ma see out here the light for us. Ram on, blow the right noise. Almighty, 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 Creator of earth, His blood inside me. We know that He will. Almighty, Almighty, Creator of earth, His blood inside We know that He will. Almighty, Creator of earth. His blood inside me. We know that He will. Almighty. Oh, praise to the Most High. Hey, it's the last one before I do my take with free bro. That's my holy, holy, oh, holy, holy, holy. You are my rock, my shield, my fortress, my everlasting King. You gave me life, wanna thank you for this. You the creator of everything. Your everlasting mercy, unto you do I sing. Your laws and your commandments, I keep them close to me. Whoa, you divided the waters for your people. We the best at everything, but we still need you. You the one who punish us when we do evil. Through the hell and tribulation, he won't leave you. Glory, glory, we give you glory, glory, glory. We give you glory, glory, glory. We give you glory, glory, glory. We give you glory. You are my rock, my shield, my fortress, my everlasting King. You gave me life, wanna thank you for this. You the creator of everything. Your everlasting mercy, unto you do I sing. Your laws and your commandments, I keep them close to me. Whoa, you the one who sent that bread down from heaven. We went to war with many nations, you protect us. You came down as a fire on Mount Sinai, and it's still here to this day. Why shall I lie? For a brief moment I abandoned you, but to bring you back with a deep compassion, what I plan to do. You disobeyed, I made you slaves, I was mad at you. Had to send my son to die for y'all, somebody had to. Glory, glory, we give you glory, glory, glory. We give you glory, glory, glory. We give you glory, glory, glory. We give you glory. You are my rock, my shield, my fortress, my everlasting King. You gave me life, wanna thank you for this. You the creator of everything. Your everlasting mercy, unto you do I sing. Your laws and your commandments, I keep them close to me. Whoa.